L asked, do we think all races are receiving the same vaccines, right? Mm-hmm. I worded that right?
Yeah. Just a question for the group. Because I want to get, well, this is going to be just from one perspective, I guess, because we're an all-black, all-male staff. But
as a record label, as a crew, as a staff.
As a staff, you feel me? Nah, but I just wanted to get y'all take on, because the trucks left the compound.
Mm-hmm.
They're coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Top of the year, folks supposed to start taking them.
Like a Jordan drop.
You feel me?
Line up around the block.
You feel me? But like, you know, around vaccines,
it's crazy.
Nah, it really is though. it's limited. That price gonna go up. Nah, but seriously though, for the group though, I just wanted to see like what everybody's mind was on like vaccines in general, and if you believe that everybody receives the exact same vaccines per se, or if you have like the same response to vaccines or, you know, shit like that. So
this might sound really ignorant. I do not believe it's a race thing. I do believe it'll be a demo and a class thing. So how I imagine that going is by county. So if you go, these schools are better in this county. You guys just purchased a home. You're in real estate. For the life of me, and this probably will sound ignorant too, I didn't know that home searches were as specific as letting you know where your school district ranked. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that was a thing. Mm-hmm. Blew my fucking mind. So if that's how specific we're getting, how specific can we get for real then? I don't know. Like, and so when you asked that, G, that was the first thing I thought was like, well, shit, maybe this is as specific as like counties and demos and what the school rankings are and shit like that based off what type of vaccine, which of the vaccines will be administered to said county, to said demo. That's just where my brain went.
Yeah.
If the black and brown people make up the counties and the districts, make up a larger part of the counties and the districts that have have the schools that perform lower, are where the poverty is focused for the most part, then it makes sense that they will receive a different type of vaccine, and that the side effects might be significantly different than the one being administered in other districts and other counties. It's just a really shitty, dangerous game that there's part of me that has just endured and experienced so much. It's hard for me to not have questions. I'm 100% open to not being right and sounding foolish and needing more information. But from everything that I encounter and research on my own, it looks even shadier and shadier the more I begin to understand. It's not doing the reverse. It's not putting me at ease by any means. I'm more frustrated. I'm more confused.
Yeah, I just think it's interesting the relationship that different races will have with like medical fields in general. So overwhelmingly, black people will not have a good relationship with doctors. And overwhelmingly, white people would. And that's by design. That's not by mistake. And don't for a second think that the treatments are the same.
Huh.
Because first it'll go by race, and then it'll go by class, and then it'll go by income, and then it'll go by all kind of things that stack up that'll be a list of things that you check off the list on if you are going to get the proper medical treatment or not.
Yeah.
As far as like trying to save your life,
Yeah.
you know. So I don't find it far fetched for a vaccine to operate in the exact same context. That's before getting. That's just me being like not having any belief in the system and whatsoever.
Yeah.
But that's before you even get to the biology of it and like people having different chemistry inside of them. And how your reaction is to different things. Like that's before even getting to the nuances of that. It's literally being the first the first ones off the truck. Is everyone getting the exact same one? You know what I'm saying? Like, is there two that's coming out? Like when the trucks are coming out, is there one that's the actual vaccine and then there's a placebo? Like what are we doing here? You know what I'm saying? And that's not something that's just me. That's not me putting people into any type of frenzy or anything like that. But it is something for you to think about when it comes to these type of things. Like, you know, just think about our relationship to this point with the medical field.
Nah, man. What do you as a and forgive me for bringing it up, but it's something that I think about, like with your child in school. Like, what the fuck do you do?
I'm still trying to figure
Figure it
that
out. Yeah, that's what a lot of parents are saying. There's
like it's fucked up because, you know, she does school from home.
Yeah.
And it saddens me because she can't be around other kids.
Yep.
But
and she's so social, bro. It's like,
yeah, she can't help it.
She's social with adults, so I imagine she's just the life of the party with her peers.
Yeah, so it's like she doesn't get that.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
Protected.
I'm like, at least I know you're protected.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah.
And like we were talking about earlier with teachers and shit going on like that.
Yeah.
So that part does ease my mind.
Facts.
But then, like I said, her not being social with other kids her age and being able to make childhood friends and whatever.
Yeah. It's an interesting time. I'm curious to how this story of 2020 and beyond will be told. We learned a lot about our government, our economy, our neighbors. We've learned a whole hell of a lot. So I'm just interested on how it'll be told, right? Because I remember in school learning about the influenza and the Great Depression and all this shit, right? And you like, man, that sound crazy. That ain't gonna happen to us. Nigga, what? And to be in the midst of one, what was it? The first depression was 1920, right? Well, not the first depression, but the Great Depression was 1920, I think. Yeah. I feel like it was 1920.
Something like that.
Yeah. But reading about that and, you know, and what was cultivated out of it. So prohibition and you know, and the number of runners and the liquor and the underworld, the black market, and how shunned upon it is, but how similar the parallels are to right now, right? Where they're figuring out what weed will mean coming out of this. It
was the 1930s.
Oh, 1930s, my bad. What weed will mean coming out of this, I can't help but think what liquor meant during the Depression and what it meant coming out of it and how dependent the economy was on libations like post the Depression, and what it'll mean coming out of this versus like what people have been sentenced to for petty weed crimes and possession crimes and shit like that. Bruh, it's impossible not to jumble all of these thoughts together.
They're not excusing that. I don't care what anybody say.
No. I'm with you that they're not. But
not if it already happened, even if it's legal all across the board. If it already happened, in their eyes.
Yeah.
Like, so if you're in there for petty weed cases, then nigga, you in
in the system, bro.
Sheesh,
man.